live in a while, actually. Now I'm thinking about it. I've been so busy. I hope everybody's doing good. Spoke Anthony. I did a video recently or a live recently. I need to go back and edit and upload it about things that are just going on in the world. Video I saw on TikTok I thought was kind of interesting. Outside of that, I hope everybody's doing well. Let me see here. I really do want to hear from people, especially how you feel about things that's going on in the world right now. Uh, Let me go here. I'm also trying to edit another video right quick um, before I have to go and run some errands again. You know, even if you're off work, you're always busy, right? So I don't really have a particular topic that I really want to talk about. I'm just pretty much just talking about anything that comes to mind in this particular situation. I've been seeing a lot of stuff. You know what? How you been feeling like that you've been extra censored lately? In all seriousness, I'm very curious about that part because I know as of lately, I've been feeling very censored. I've been feeling attacked that you really can't express yourselves or express yourself or have an opinion about anything without having a wrath of God of the government, which is impeding on a free speech that our president ran on at one point in time. I mean, whether you like him or love him, at the end of the day, he's still our president, but he's not representing the people. He's representing an entity that gets to vote because, or I would say because of money, because money is speech somehow. I'm assuming everybody must be at work today. Let's see. Get that changed. But if you haven't checked out my channel, go ahead and subscribe to it. I finally went past 2,000 subscribers. I was really happy about that. I hope before the year is over with to make it 3. That would be an amazing thing. So if you see this and you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so. I would love to hit 3,000 subscribers before the year is over with. Um, let's see. There's been so much going on in the news as of late that it's hard to keep track anymore. Hello, hello. How you guys doing? Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, I'm just pretty much talking about everything that I can think of. What my channel is about, my channel is mainly about current events for the most part. Again, my opinions about things. Like I did a video recently to where I gave an opinion about a gay man who presents as a female, talking about essentially how they deceive a straight man. And the reason I say that is because they wasn't transparent that they were not a woman, that they were a man. So um, I get into more details about it. I don't have a problem if you're gay, straight, trans, or whatever you want to call yourself. I really don't care. You're not harming nobody for whatever you choose to do. But I don't like the fact that you're ever deceitful with who or what you consider yourself to be. And I gave the example of like, I'm a straight man. Let's say if I went to a club and I met a woman, me and her met, we kissed, exchanged numbers, and then a week later I find out she's married. I'm gonna be pissed because she did not present herself as a married woman when I met her. If she did, I wouldn't have talked or got to know her any way, shape, or form. However, though, since she lied to me and I do value marriage, I'll be pretty mad about that. So yeah, that's pretty much my thinking there. If you're a gay man who presents himself feminine and then another man talks to you, I think you should have an obligation to be transparent before y'all even kiss and say, hey, I'm a man. I don't think I'm wrong in that line of thinking, right? I don't think that's unreasonable. So I feel like that was very deceitful of that person to do that. It's not about gay or straight at the end of the day. It's all about you being an honest person. You know, I don't even know if that's a real gang or not, but I'm just gonna say I don't gang bang, so I don't know. I have nothing to do with gang culture. I avoid it. I want nothing to do with it. I'm from the South, and I got more stuff to worry about. I don't need to add stuff on top of that. I'm in the South. I gotta worry about sundown towns. I ain't trying to worry about no gang bullshit. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. I'm more worried about sundown towns than I am about gangs. And speaking of gangs, you know, the gangs they're confusing to me. Gangs came to be so tough and so about that action, I guess you could say. And I remember before the National Guard got deployed to Chicago, you saw a lot of gang members saying that they got switches and they're not about that. They're not gonna let that happen. But when the National Guard got up there, they folded easily. That gang talk, that gang intimidation had no bearings on the government. It was just a lot of smoke. Now, if you can go up against a civilian, you know, you're the baddest person on the block. But when it's an actual threat that's impeding on your rights, you fold and hide. And that doesn't make any sense to me because back in the day, a lot of gangs, they were supposed to protect the people in the communities. So not only did you lose your original purpose, you're now seen as a coward because when it comes to defending your community, you're nowhere to be found. I don't know. That's why I never really believed in gangs. Um, I can honestly say that I never really truly met an honorable gang member, you know? Um, but that's another story in itself. And I think you have a lot of fake gangsters out there too. Peace and blessings. Thank you. Same to you. I hope you're doing well over there. I forgot what I was looking up here. That's right. I was going to see if my YouTube transcript was generated. Where's my channel at? There it is. So what y'all got going on? How do y'all feel about the National Guard and everything being deployed? How do you feel, this about gangs in general? This how you feel about stuff? I'm just curious. I genuinely want to know because my opinions are my opinions. I know I'm not always right. You feel free to change my mind about anything you may feel or think or disagree with what I say. But I just don't see a point of having something that's not gonna operate like it was intentionally designed to, which is protect communities and people. But then again, the CIA, FBI has helped destroy all of that, in my opinion. But I've always thought a little bit differently. I remember when I was growing up, and this will be transparent on 40. So back when I was growing up, like Lil Wayne, the Hot Boys was very popular. Um, God, what was Masterpiece? No Limit, things like that. All that stuff was very popular back then. But I didn't necessarily like that because I felt it was all fake. That's just my opinion of it, right? I can't I can't listen to somebody that's rapping about street life living in a mansion. I can't listen to somebody and take them seriously if they're on MTV Cribs. You know what I mean? I just never got down with that whole entire street logic and music when I was younger. When you're rolling around in a limo, living in a mansion, going on vacations, and eating clean. It was this, and I felt like that was intentional. For one, so they can help sell records. Two, so they can have a negative impact on Black people and communities in general. One moment. Multitasking, trying to typing and feeling alive at the same time. But again, like I said earlier, if you guys disagree with anything I said, let me know. Tell me why you disagree. I genuinely want to know because I'm just going by my life experiences. Like I said earlier, I don't have time for gangs. I don't have time for gang banging. I don't have time for none of that shit because, I live in the South. I'm not worried about gangs. I'm worried about sundown towns. I'm worried about, you know, things like that. I'm not going to say too much more because I don't want my life to get demonetized, but it's just one of those things. I just felt like gangs were is more of a hindrance than a blessing or anything along those lines when it comes to our communities. Because if you're not defending the community when it's being attacked, then what's the point of you? What's the point of tolerating all the stuff that goes on if you're not going to do anything to save people, to help people, to defend people? Um, yeah, yeah. It's just sad that we lost the plot. You know what's really crazy is I always consider Magna a gang. Actually, I consider them more of a cult, but I consider them a gang or a cult too, right? For some reason, it seems like gangs have this been associated for the black and brown people for some reason, and nobody else. Even though the most deadliest gang is wearing red, and I'm not talking about the Bloods. Nope, 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 nope. Whoever gave me a like, thank you for the like. I appreciate it. I didn't notice that until now. Like I said, I'm just editing a video at the same time. If you agree or disagree with anything I'm saying, like I said before, just go ahead and give me a subscribe, give me a like, give me your opinion or something, interact. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and get that done. So let me ask you this question if you're still watching. If you haven't watched my video that I was talking about earlier, which was called, he called it fragile masculinity. I never really heard the phrase of fragile masculinity until I seen that video on TikTok. And the only reason I knew about that video on TikTok because Riva from YouTube, Riva TV from YouTube, made a video about the topic, and I think she's great. I love her channel. If she's not married, I'll be very surprised. But I'm not going to get into how great I think Riva is. I know she knows how great she is. Let's see here. If you're watching still, thank you. Like I said, I'm just working on editing. Let me go ahead and see if I can. Yeah, there we go. Like I said, just sitting here trying to edit, trying to get these things done. You know what they always say, if you want to make some extra income, make a YouTube channel, make a YouTube channel, make a YouTube channel. They don't talk about the part about how much work it really is to make a YouTube channel. The research, like if you don't have a team, it's kind of like if you don't have a team, it really is a second job. You gotta make it, design your own thumbnails. You gotta sit here and do your own research, learn about video editing, all this other kind of stuff, how to word and format stuff. It's like, geez, make a YouTube channel. That's another job. Where is, and then the programs that you use sometimes, they get updated like frequently. So, yeah. So tell me, how do you feel about the National Guard going to Texas? Excuse me. No, no. How do you feel about the Texas National Guard going to going to Oregon? I'm just kind of curious how people feel about that in general. I've seen some people say they're okay with it, they like it. I've seen some people say they much rather have the guard there in their own city. I'm just curious how people feel, what they really think about it. You know what? This gimbal thing is kind of a. All right, there we go. Cool. You gotta love these gimbals, man. So much technology for no reason sometimes. Hey, this is a good angle for me to look at too. I can continue what I'm doing and keep moving forward. You know, I asked a question on a TikTok video. I'm going to upload to YouTube here also. I asked the question, how do you feel, or do you believe that another Freddie Hampton is going to rise up? Are we going to have another Black Messiah that's going to come and lead and try to unify people? Jesus, I cannot find anything after these freaking updates. Oh, here we go. There we go. Maybe I overlooked it. I could have swore I clicked it like 5 different times and I just kind of overlooked it. Maybe that was it. I'll take accountability on that because not everybody can do that apparently. Accountability is one of the hardest things for people to do nowadays. Delete, delete. And there was the ending of the video that has some music on it that needed to be muted. You know what I'll do? I'll just, yeah. I'll probably just, should I just take out the ending of the video completely? I don't know. What's the this part? Let me hit play. Yep, that's where it was. I promise, one of the people I dislike the most is Cardi B. If you wanted to call me a Cardi B hater, you wouldn't be too far fetched from that. I guarantee you. All right, so let me get this saved so that way I can re-upload it. But yeah, like I was saying, I was just talking about random stuff today. I was talking about the video that I just recently filmed about this TikToker named Donnie, who pretty much was saying that men has fragile masculinity, which I don't understand why everybody always want to take jabs at men in general about stuff like that. That doesn't make any sense. All because you want to lie and be deceitful. But it is what it is, though. Well, I am about to get out of here since I'm not getting too much interaction this time. And I guess I'll come back and try again later this afternoon. You guys have a great day. Thank you. Bye.